folks, welcome to this tonight's episode of the Sports Buzz, and I tell you, we are with a special buddy of ours, long time. I go back to, golly, I think refereeing and all that good stuff when you were playing ball.
I think so.
Coach Josh Loy, give me some air knuckles, sir.
Yes, sir.
So tell the folks out there, new head coach, Cathedral Greenwave.
Yeah.
And you have been coaching.
Year 20. Started year 20 this year.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey,
it's creeping up on me.
Gotcha. Now, what year, and I got to go back, you graduated in
99.
99. And yeah, I can still remember. I can almost remember 99.
Yeah.
It's been a few moons ago. So tell us where all you've been coaching, and go back to almost Y2K with us, and tell us where you've been, Coach.
Yeah, this is year 20 this year, so it's crept up on me pretty quick. I started out as a GA at Southeastern Louisiana under Hal Mummy right out of college when I graduated from LSU. Started with him. Was there for a year, GA'd at Delta State for a year, and then I've been in the high school ranks ever since. Came back home. My first high school coaching job was at ACCS.
Absolutely.
It was a defense coordinator under Bobby Marks. I've worked for some good people. That's one thing. Over the last 20 years, I've worked with some legends in the game. After that, Coach King called me over, and I was assistant for him for a year. Became the AD at Cathedral for a couple of years when Coach Garcia retired.
Right.
Been at Natchez High on two different stints. Head coach back at Trinity. Won a state championship in 2013. The last few years I've been in Louisiana. At Vidalia the last 3 years, and I was at Denham Springs for a couple of years before that. But yeah, we were adding it all up the other day at the house, and this is year 20, so it's gotten here quick.
It does. It's kind of like you go year 10, year 20, and then all of a sudden hey, I go back and start counting back to 1987. It's been a few moons for me, and here's what I was, I guess, in my 12th year of refereeing and umpiring and all that good stuff. Your senior year, and man, it does fly by.
It's going quick.
Soak it up and enjoy it. But now this year at Cathedral, tell us a little bit about what all you got, what all's coming back. Let's just take it away, Coach, if you will.
Got hired in February, so I've been there on campus since February, which has been really good. I've gotten to kind of form bonds with these guys, kind of change our culture, build our program from the ground up. So it's been good coming in early enough to be able to do that, not starting late in the game. We lost a ton of production. Noah Russ graduated, and he set the record book on fire.
What a stud.
Caden Batiste is going to play some college football. We lost a ton of production from last year's team, but we've got 13 seniors on this group. We've got a lot of guys that have kind of just been waiting in the wings, waiting for their turn. Hadn't had a lot of opportunity, but it's their time now. So we're counting on Tris McCoy to step up. Justin Hawkins is going to be a key player for us this year. Cam Tanner was with us as a sophomore. He left and moved to Texas, and
then back.
He's back.
Right.
He came back in January, so he'll be back with us, and we're expecting big things out of him. We've got a lot of senior linemen this year. This is a big group as far as our line goes. So we need to take advantage this year because we're going to be a lot thinner there next year.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of folks out there. I'm going to go back to a Greenie / Greenwave, a kid that's been a great friend of mine. We played Little League Baseball together, international paper, me and some guy named Walt Brown.
Yeah, the legend.
The legend.
The voice of Greenwave. Yeah, that's right.
There's not probably any more professional announcers that know only maybe a few folks on the planet know more about Cathedral history.
If anybody knows more about Cathedral history, I have yet to find them. Walt Brown is your go-to guy.
Absolutely.
He absolutely knows everything. A funny story is we were looking at some things this year about changing uniforms and kind of going back to more traditional green and some of that stuff. And I called Walt up, had a few questions. Man, he knew them immediately. He knew the years, knew everything. It's crazy how invested he is and how much he knows about that school.
And I'm going to tell you what, I go back and those Friday nights that I put on a headset with Walt Brown, and just being almost kind of not just his backup, but the color and the knowledge and the passion and love that he puts into it. You know, it's one thing when you paint a picture on the radio for those that can't see, and now that or that can't, they only hear it. But when the magic that he's going to make and has been making on Greenwave Live on your platform, I'm going to say people just enjoy tuning in, and that's going to be.
I think it's a comfort for everybody.
Absolutely, and you got a man there. Now I want to talk a little bit more. The district. Kind of explain that to the watchers out there. What you've got this year in this district and all that good stuff, if you will.
I walked into a Murders Row district. I mean, this is the SEC West. This is brutal. I mean, there's no getting around it. I mean, it is extremely top heavy with ACCS and Park Lane, Oak Forest. Silliman has always got a good football
Absolutely.
team. Brookhaven Academy and us. So it is a very tough district from top to bottom. And there's no
off week.
There's no off week in this district.
I go back to a time coming through at AC and knowing, and we talk about the Gauntlet Row. The joke sometimes used to be, they're like, and I'm just going back to AC days. I'm like, they say, okay, who are y'all playing for homecoming? We'd say Central Academy. Yeah. And Bill Hurst would
the winningest coach in Mississippi history. Hey, we're just bringing him in for homecoming.
Yeah. We didn't want to play Prep or JA or MRA or Park Lane or Oak Forest. But I mean, yes, you're in Gauntlet Row. Now, who do you start out with?
We're opening with Central Hines. We go to Central Hines. We come back week 2, and it's our arch rival in St. Al.
The Flashes.
We're having the Flashes on week 2. We're doing a big game that week. We're kind of honoring we've had a championship team in 83, 93, and 73. They all won either a conference championship. 93 played for a state championship. So we're bringing those teams back, 50, 40, 30 year anniversary for those guys. And we're expecting a huge crowd. It was important to do with that game because everybody has played St. Al. You know, us being kind of new to the MIS, that's one of our rivals that are carried over from public school ball. So everybody's played St. Al. That's been our rival forever. So that was kind of the theme behind that. Do a championship night, and we're expecting a huge crowd that night.
Well, you know, let's touch on that just for a second. For years and years and years and years, and probably I don't know, maybe 100 years. I'm saying that
we need to call Walt.
Yeah, Walt would know.
Walt would know.
And you know what? I did text Walt a couple of weeks ago and I said, okay, when we film some future episodes for the Sports Buzz, I've got to have Walt here. There's a few folks around the planet that have knowledge, and then there's superpower knowledge. But, you know, Cathedral and the Flashes, I'm going to go back to that state championship year.
2014.
2014.
It's the only state title Cathedral's ever won.
And then there was kind of a ruckus. And that's the best way I'm going to say it, because enough of a ruckus was raised. You know, people were griping that kids from Lake St. John and Vidalia and Faraday, who have been coming across that bridge since me and you were negative 50. Well, you were negative 10. I was negative 40. Anyway, you know, if you got to do that and raise that kind of ruckus, you know what? So I commend Cathedral and the Flashes, because y'all were the first two that came over. And then all of a sudden now, Madison St. Joe. So when you talk about the 3 main Catholic schools in Mississippi that have stepped over into the private school with, you know, way back in the day, we were MPSA, then we're MAIS, then we're Mid-South Association of Independent Schools. It's this league, and with private schools, it's not no cakewalk.
No.
And I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be fun to watch y'all this year. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about this group we have. I think we've got some guys that have worked extremely hard since I've been here, and we're definitely heading in the right direction.
Now, your leaders that we're going to be looking for on Friday night, I know, like you said, Noah Russ and losing several of them, Batiste and several others. Who's some of my guys that I'm really going to be looking for? Quarterback, wide receivers. Just give me a few of those names.
A couple of guys that really stepped up their leadership roles will be Bennett Gilly. He's one of our linemen. Kay Jackson, linebacker and lineman type guy. These guys they were actually selected as members of our leadership council. So they're definitely, their peers think of them as leaders. We think of them as coaches, leaders. So those are guys that are going to be integral for us. Like I said earlier, Hawkins, Tris McCoy, those guys are going to be playmakers, but we need their leadership as well. They're going to be big time leaders as well.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. Hey, y'all can tune in on Friday nights, and like you said, I'm tickled pink to tune in and watch Walt. Maybe I can find a Friday night and get over and put a headset on.
Come on.
You know,
I know. I'm sure Walt would love to have.
Hey, when I did it, it was just nothing but a pleasure. I think it was a time or two when Matthew Hall or one of the other guys was maybe going up to take in a football game, and I got to slip that headset on, and that's fun on Friday night with Walt Brown.
Matthew helps him a lot. Matthew does a really good job as well.
Absolutely. All right, Coach. Hey, good to see you again, and best of luck this season to you.
Thank you, Jim Bob.
All righty. Y'all stay tuned. Hey, you can catch them Greenwave Live, and we're going to get all that information for y'all. And y'all stay tuned. We got more good stuff coming your way.